fantasizing about moving overseas, but feel that you're stuck in the States because you have a chronic illness, I'm here to tell you there are options for you. In this video, I am going to introduce you to three women who are managing significant chronic illnesses, and they have moved or are in the process of moving. One has been here in Mexico for a few years already, and the other two, was in Mexico and is coming back, and the other will be here in a month or so. So folks, before I move forward, I want to introduce myself for those of you who haven't been to my channel. My passion, my goal for this channel, is to convince you that you can do this. It's not about what other people can do. You can actually move overseas and get the care you need outside of the US. It takes a little bit of planning, but it is so doable. Now, after this video, if this doesn't make you say, I can do that too, I don't know what is. So let me go into the case studies. The first person, she is a retired nurse. She's a PhD level nurse and was a professor of nursing for 15 years. She was a nurse for 40 years, I believe. She and her husband moved here, I think about 5 years ago. She moved to Mexico, and she has told me that she believes she's getting better care here in Mexico because, the doctors here, they focus in on you as a human being. They make plans for you. You're not limited by what some chart says in the US. But let me go to what she has actually said to me. She thinks that her care in Mexico is better because, I'm going to look away because I made some notes. She said her doctor comes to her house. Yes, doctors make house calls in Mexico, and you don't have to be rich. They will come to your house for the regular price in Mexico. She doesn't have to wait 3 months to get an appointment. And also, when she wants to communicate with her doctor or get an appointment, all she does, she gets on WhatsApp, and you know who responds? The doctor. She said the first time it happened, she was absolutely shocked. But yes, the doctor actually responded to her request for an appointment and answers questions via WhatsApp. So it doesn't get more personal than that, folks. And did I mention that the average consultation is about an hour and 15 minutes or an hour? They take time to get to know you, and they listen to you. Have you ever been to an appointment in the States where you were lucky to get 10 or 15 minutes because the doctors there they're limited by what the hospital says they can do and what the insurance company says they can do? So what else did she say? She said that basic medications and care are much more affordable here. And I can attest to that. That's absolutely true. And another thing, her doctor, when she got here, first of all, I forgot to tell you, she's managing rheumatoid arthritis. For those of you who have never experienced it, it can stop you in your tracks. That pain is no joke. And as you can tell by my hands, I have some experience with it. It will stop you in your tracks, folks. And in the States, they just give you medication on medication on medication. She said when she got here, the doctors took all the medication she was taking and they brought it down to a minimum. And then they started working with her, and they only added what she needed for her to have an excellent quality of life. It's not about big pharma here. It's about what your body needs. So I think that is the basics. I don't want to dig too deep because this video will go on forever. But those are the reasons. Direct contact with the doctor, longer focused appointments on you, being able to get an appointment without waiting 3 months, affordable care, affordable medication. And by the way, the lower stress here goes a long way toward helping you with your well-being. So let's move on to person number two. This person, and I'm going to tell you up front, she was living in Mexico, and she was managing multiple sclerosis. And she said when she was here, she enjoyed it, she liked it because there were more opportunities for community and a support structure, and the same reasons that the first person gave. More access to doctors that actually see you as a human being, more affordability, being able to get an appointment on time, and the feeling that you're being seen as a whole human being. Because in the States, sometimes they treat you like, you don't know what you're saying about your own body. Now, she wasn't feeling really well. So she decided she would go home. She was going to spend a few weeks, go back to the States, and see what was going on. What was supposed to be 2 or 3 weeks ended up being a year. And that's because she received a diagnosis of cancer on top of the MS. She beat the cancer, folks. But it was a long, hard year. And during that year, she and I communicated. She told me that there were times with the pain management, they weren't listening to her. They were discounting what she was saying. She had to fight so hard just to be seen as an individual. I mean, it was managing her care in the States was almost as difficult as managing the diagnosis because she couldn't get what she needed. And if you are managing a chronic illness, I know you can empathize with this. You feel you have to fight for it. So here's someone managing MS, managing cancer treatments, struggling to get correct pain management. And the doctors are kind of, yeah, whatever, we're going to do what we're going to do. And if it doesn't work for you, you can just go somewhere else. So I will never forget the day that she texted me and she said, Heather, I can feel my toes moving. I'm coming back to Mexico. Yes, folks. As soon as she felt that she was on her way to recovery, she ramped up, she was always thinking about it, but she ramped up her plans and she found a way, and she's going to be in Mexico, I think, by January. So there's a way to do it, even with something that seems so overwhelming as cancer and managing multiple sclerosis. Because people here have those conditions as well, and the doctors here will treat you as an individual. So let's move on to person number 3. Oh, and by the way, person number 2, she is a marketing and media entrepreneur. She stands on her own 2 feet. She's absolutely amazing. So person number 3, she is a PhD level holistic practitioner. She believes in healing from within. And her medical condition really surprised me. I hadn't heard anything like this. I was so surprised. I was actually shocked. What happened to this person is that directly after her first COVID shot, her very first COVID shot, she had a series of mini strokes that took away vision in her right eye, and she's semi-paralyzed down one side of her body. So talk about turning your life upside down. She is learning how to operate and thrive in her new body. Fortunately, she already has an understanding that it is possible to heal from within. And she came and she scouted Mexico and she said, this is the place I need to be, Heather. This is where I believe I can connect to nature. I can have clean air. I can have healthy food. I feel that I will be able to not only help myself heal from within here and develop a community here, I can help other people when I get here, which is absolutely amazing. And folks, she has a plan to thrive on a Social Security budget. None of these women are wealthy. They all had to make plans on how they're going to do it. So, folks, there's my three women. Oh, wait a minute, one more thing. My friend who is a holistic practitioner, she said to me, she said, I might be blind in one eye and paralyzed down one side of my body, but as long as I can walk and I can breathe, I am coming to Mexico. Yes, nothing is getting in her way. And folks, I want you to try to adopt the same thing. Don't allow fears and the words of others to get in your way. I remember when I was going to come here, my doctor said, you can't go there. They can't take care of you. The medications, whatever. I am doing so much better here. Leaving the US was the best thing I could have done for my health. So folks, I'm going to end my video as I always do and ask you the question. And I want you to think about this. I really want you to think about this. How do you want to spend your health?